What screams I make terrible financial decisions. When you ask them how much they paid for something and they only know the monthly payment amount. My ex-Sil went to Walmart and bought a shitload of nail clippers, files, polish and anything to do fingernails with. I asked her what the hell she planned on doing with all that. She told me she was going to start a flea market. Can't pay rent on time, but never misses a night out. Having the top of the line everything with a minimum wage. You are an unlicensed pharmacist on the side. Reddit awards, now that we don't get free ones. A private in any branch of the military buying a Dodge Charger. Every time you get a chunk of cash, you think you have to find a way to spend it. My neighbor can't buy her kids' school shoes but has custom rims and wheels. Burning friends by asking for emergency money. Based on some fake story that you will never repay. Yes. Oddly specific. Yes. All too common. Making impulsive decisions right after getting paid. Expensive flashy car in the low-rent apartment complex parking lot. MLMs. I quit drinking, but took up a Lego addiction. It was cheaper being drunk. You own a Bored Ape NFT. Renting furniture. Fancy pickup truck with bald tires. But don't worry, my payment didn't change. When you have a $150K allowance, a free house and vehicle and you're still dead broke for 4-5 months of the year. Sound specific? It's my entitled piece of shit uncle. Carrying long-term balances on credit cards. That interest will eat you alive. I know sometimes there are emergencies and people get overextended. But if you have a variety of debts, then credit card debt is most likely the one to try to take on first. Making questionable and risky financial decisions today because you think you'll be in a better position in the near future. You might be. Or you might not be. In fact, if you're the type of person who makes financial decisions this way, it will almost certainly be the latter. When someone would rather go out than pay their light bill. Driving an expensive luxury vehicle with the windows down in summer because you can't afford to fix the AC. Buying an expensive car and modding it when you only just got your first minimum wage job. I know someone who is always struggling with money. Then I found out he has individual cups of Dunkin' Donuts coffee delivered to him via third-party apps, of course, while he's working at home. You know, instead of making a pot of coffee for yourself. A huge amount of high-interest credit card debt. Being the guy at work always bitching about being broke but calls out constantly and always seems to have a family emergency and has to leave early. $3,000 wheels on a $3,000 car. Our Wall Street bets. Multiple Warhammer armies. I saw the same musical 2 nights in a row. When the alcohol starts making all the decisions for you. 6 years sober. Those ugly LV bags people have when working a shit job. I had 2 health insurance policies for 2 years. Didn't notice until I had a retirement solution specialist review my bank account. A family member of mine has been begging money from everyone. He says they don't have enough money for food, rent, fuel for his wife to get to work or for tires. We own a tire shop. And offered him a set of used tires for $40 if he will help mount them. It's a job he's familiar with. He said he didn't have $40. He goes to my sister-in-law and says he needs to make money for tires. She starts paying him daily for doing some remodeling work for her. He informs her on day 3 that he won't be available for the next 2 weeks because he is going on vacation to New Orleans. As a college student, you're supposed to take out loans so you can go on trips and gain life experience while you're young. A former classmate of mine having a negative account balance. Expensive luxury car in a mediocre to bad apartment complex. Anything Louis Vuitton. Cocaine. Trying to control your submarine with an off-brand PlayStation controller. Brand new Dodge Challenger parked and blasting music while the owner is raiding the free food pantry at the local church. Perhaps a $700 car payment is a bit outside your current budget. Me. To my pillow at night, smiling face with tear. Buying a $3K engagement ring with a credit card and having to open 2 other cards for balance transfers to pay it off while making $7-ish an hour. The kicker was we broke up 6 months later and I let her keep it. At least initially. My 20s were a blast. A new car while trying to figure out how to repay your SL and pay bills. Deciding between Dogecoin and Litecoin. Range Rover, aka how to spend twice as much for a less reliable Jeep. Carrying balances on credit cards. Signing up for an MLM pyramid scheme. When you can look at each company's income report and see 99.7% of the sellers lose money. You must have some critical thinking issues to think it won't happen to you. Decking out a baby with expensive clothes. As a doc working a Medicaid program where most of the patients are low income, so they get everything for free. When a patient needs to cancel a free $10,000 appointment, anesthesiologist time, along with surgical team because they didn't have money for the bus, but then come in 2 days later with Nikes, iPhones, LV bags, etc. Buying a Range Rover. Those are horrible cars and they cost a lot. It's not a status symbol because someone with money would just get a better car. It's like tattooing stupid on your forehead. I know some people will go OOMMGGG, but they're so cute. Just talk to any owner of a Range Rover and they will have PTSD levels of twitchiness. Oh yeah, twitch, I love twitch, my Range Rover, violent twitch, uncontrollable sobbing. Cigarettes are a super poor or super rich people activity. Credit card debt acquired from not being able to afford vacations using your savings. Your very expensive car parked next to your single wide in the trailer park where you live. My sleeves. Dodge Challenger Charger. Getting into debt to buy luxury products online. The vast majority of luxury customers aren't millionaires. They're regular people who earn below 6 figures. This machine I've invented, which merely repeats the line, I make terrible financial decisions every time you push a button. It costs $746. When your car payment is higher than your rent. Payday loans. Rent to own. I had a buddy who decided to spend his tax rebate on a gaming chair. He already had a perfectly usable one. Plus he was behind on his rent. Using a payday loan place. Shitbox car with fancy rims. Rent or own gold jewelry. Smoking. You are paying a corporation to kill you. Slowly and painfully. When you have multiple children. I said what I said. My many synthesizers. Paying for fake internet awards.